All right, buckle up, everybody. Here we go. In 1962, in racially divided, racially tense, sometimes racially violent Los Angeles, California, a 16-year-old Jewish girl hooked up, got knocked up by a dude named Jesus. Now that is Jesus, for those of you culturally impaired. So think about it. In that context, a white girl made a baby with a Mexican guy. And that baby was me, Joe Chavez, a Mexican Jew, a Jewican. Now, if I have learned anything from that experience and life since then, it's this. Life deals us hands of cards. We can't control the hand. All we can control is how we perceive and how we play those cards. And how we perceive and play those hands of cards is our life. You play a crappy hand, crappy, you're going to have probably a crappy life. And the opposite is true. You play those hands well, you got a good shot at turning that sucker around. And if those hands of cards I was dealt taught me anything, it is a simple rule. I live by it. Matter of fact, I keep it on me at all times, and here it is written down. And that is 3 simple words: wear a cup. Now, guys, I do not mean an athletic cup, and ladies, I do not mean that thing your big brother told you was a mask and kept trying to put over your face when you were a little girl. I'm talking about a mindset, a mentality. It's a philosophy. It's a way of seeing life, seeing people. Okay, and the basic premise of it is this: we cannot control the hand of cards we get dealt. We can only control how we perceive and play them. I'm going to say that a lot. All right, and those hands of cards taught me that very simple truth to always wear your cup. Now, I'm going to go real fast and show you the hands of cards that life dealt me that taught me to wear a cup. So you heard about how I was born. 2.5 months after I was born, my dad was killed. That left my teen mom, me, my grandma, and my great-grandma. I was a skinny, sensitive little boy growing up in a rowdy neighborhood in Los Angeles, which was not a good thing. Let's see. Oh, when I'd go down the street to eat a hamburger, you're beat up. The park across the street, you're intimidated. You run through that thing because you're being chased, and they catch you, they beat you up. When I got to elementary school, I will make a long story short, I hated elementary school K through 6th grade. I was that little dorky kid that when they would pick teams, I didn't get picked, so I'd run off with the other little nerds and catch butterflies, chase my shadow, whatever we did. The bully in the school, one of the schools I went to, used to intimidate people, wouldn't let them eat with me. And then I switched elementary schools 2 times. One of the other schools, bully just went straight to beating me up sometimes, before and after school. So I want you to catch something. I'm bullied in my neighborhood, bullied at school A, bullied at school B, bullied at school C. Now, you might need your cups on for what I'm going to say next. Some of you aren't going to like it. But if everywhere you're going, you're getting picked on, if everywhere you're going, people are treating you like crap, you're doing something wrong. There's something off. A vibe you're sending out that others aren't, they're making them target you. Because think about it. If I've learned anything, bullies don't go after strong, confident people. They go after the weak. They prey on the insecure. And I'm about to prove my point if you disagree with me. The hand of cards I got dealt next, several times, changed my life forever, changed the way I looked, everything. I got molested a few times by this pervert who lived around the corner. Only reason it stopped, he was killed in a motorcycle accident. I'm not going to lie, best day of my life. But the damage was done. I felt even more insecure. Then you feel dirty and nasty. You feel like everybody notices that happened to you. Well, and then the hand of cards I got next, I had no idea it was coming. A PE coach noticed I was really freaking fast. Maybe it was from being chased so much. But I was fast. And then I was strong. I didn't know this. And so now all of a sudden they're getting me to play baseball and football, and I'm jamming. And then I started boxing, and I started weightlifting, and I was just, my whole world changed. Now here's why I'm bringing this up. I'm not saying sports is your answer. It was mine. Everybody needs to find their go-to. You got to find your little place in the sun, that thing that you do that brings you joy. And for me, it was sports. And then the more I would score touchdowns, hit home runs, all of a sudden girls were paying attention to me, and this was awesome. And then I come home one day, my mom tells me she's marrying this guy that she's been dating for a while. So I'm like, sweet, I finally get a dad. Well, long story short, he turned out to be an alcoholic. And I won't disrespect him or myself. All I'll say is, if you're familiar with alcoholics and everything that goes on around them, that's what happened. Well, I had a lot of pent-up anger, frustration, and it needed an outlet besides football, so I started fighting not only in the ring, but out of the ring. I'm getting in trouble for that. I got kicked out of a high school for fighting in drugs, stole a car, took it joyriding. I crashed it, got busted. But I noticed something. The more trouble I kept getting into, the more it affected me playing sports. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving up that. So I got my crap together, played ball in high school, graduated from San Fernando High School in 1980, go Tigers, came to Colorado to play college football, jamming until I tore up my back a third time. Team doctors told me, sorry, son, your career is over. You could be paralyzed at any time. So I'm pissed off at life now. I'm like, that's not fair. Life sucks. Drop out of college 2 times. I get kicked out of college 2 times. Let's see what. Oh, I changed my major 3 times, 5 different colleges. I swear I'm like a poster child for birth control at this point. I am messing up royally. I get my girlfriend pregnant. I get married, but I graduated. It took me 6.5 years. And here's why I graduated. 1, I hate losing, and 2, I can't remember if it was a counselor or a teacher in high school said something to me I've never forgotten. She said, Joe, you'd better learn to work with your hands because people like you don't go to college. And I'm like, I'm going to live to prove her wrong. Got my degree, had my daughter, then I had a son, got my master's degree. And then that landed me a job at a place called CNN, DC Bureau. I helped produce 3 of their television shows. Got to meet and work with the most powerful, famous people in the world. Well, DC's expensive, so we moved back to Colorado in 1990 to be near family. I started working in politics for mayors, governors, presidents, senators, congressmen. I've had dinner with 2 different presidents, leaders of other countries. 94, it ramped up a level. I ran for U.S. Congress. Jamming, yeah? Well, the card I got dealt next, or hand of cards, lost my marriage, blew that, destroyed my family, screwed over my kids because I forgot something very important. Who you are is more important than what you are. Lost everything. My kids go back east with their mom and their new stepdad. I got depressed. I got angry, rinse, repeat, started drinking every day. And then I would get more depressed, more angry. I started fighting in bars. I started womanizing, anything to self-medicate. Well, it didn't work, but I ramped it up a level. That's my nature. I started DJing in Denver nightclubs. So now I'm drinking for free, womanizing like crazy, still depressed, still angry. And then one night, I decided to give a big old middle finger to life. I was going to kill myself. The reason I'm still here is because as I was getting ready to leave to go do it, something crossed my mind. Joe, you're about to end your pain, but inflict it on somebody else. There's nothing right about that, man. If you could do it and just inflict it on yourself, well, then, okay. But you know what? Your kids don't deserve that. So I decided to try to fight back. I got my kids back by the time they were in high school. And then I went to my son's high school one day here in the Denver metro area, and I met a beautiful teacher. Did everything I could not to fall in love with her, but I learned something very important. Women are more powerful than men. I always like watching women. They're like, well, duh. You know, right. Well, we've been now married for 13 years, have twin 10-year-old daughters, and I am just ridiculously happy, all because I learned to wear a cup. Now, there's a few other things that fall under the umbrella of wear a cup, and this is nerd alert. I actually write them down, and any other little quotes I get, and I keep them with me. So it's a handy little reference because, man, I tell you what, it's easy not to wear your cup. Here's one of the first things, in addition to the whole hand of cards things. No one owes us anything. Listen, you don't have a right to go to college. You have a right to try. You don't have a right to be happy. You have a right to try. Okay, this entitlement thing isn't going to fly. Get rid of the word should, shouldn't, and that's not fair. Those are dead-end words and phrases. I'll prove it. Watch this. Let's say a kid is mad that his parents didn't save up for college. Now he has to actually work his way through college. God forbid. Ready? The kid's all mad. What's wrong, dude? Well, man, I can't believe my parents didn't save up for me to go to college, man. They should have put money away. Yeah, but they didn't. Yeah, but they should have. Well, but they didn't. But they should have. Well, but they... See my point? Okay, just get rid of those words. You'll be happy. How about this one? Not everyone is supposed to like us. But don't we act like it? Think about this. Would you tell a little kindergartner, now, Johnny, Susie, I want you to go have a great day. Now, listen, here's what's so cool about school. Everybody in that classroom is going to like you. Everybody in this school is going to be your friend. Every grade you're in, every class you take, every school you go to, everyone's going to be nice to you, and they're going to be your friend. Now, go on. That's cruel, right? But isn't it how we live our lives? How was your day today? Oh, it was great. Well, there was this one guy. One? That's pretty doggone good. Not everybody's supposed to like us. How about this one? Everybody gets a turn eventually. Win, lose. How about this one? Ready? Popular. Okay, popular. I always tell this to high school kids when I speak at their schools. If you're popular right now, one of the good-looking ones, you got this great physique or this great body, enjoy it, because it's not going to last forever. And I got proof. I had a friend in high school. Every year in the yearbook, he was voted best hair. Not lying. Bald by 30. Serious. And then one more example, George Clooney. Have you seen early pictures of Unibrow George? Okay, and now look at him. Dude's a stud. I mean, if he walked on this stage right now, I'd kiss him on the mouth, okay? And I don't play for that team, but I mean, man, all right? Here's another one for you. Be yourself, but be nice doing it. Did you hear that? Those different people, I love different people, but sometimes different people get an attitude. And they think that people that aren't different are below them and beneath them. But then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then they're little snotty little turds, and then they look at everybody else and they're like, well, I'm like this because everybody's mean to me. Well, no, everyone's mean to you because you're kind of a jerk. Listen carefully. I think there's one universal truth that everybody on this planet hates a certain person. Ready who it is? It's a jerk. Okay, it's not because you're a Mexican or you're gay or you're straight or you're black or you're white. It's probably because you're being just a complete horse's butt. Be nice. Watch what happens. Here's another one for you. That's just the way I am. I hate that phrase. That is the motto of cowards and quitters. And that's coming from a kid who was raised by an alcoholic. Well, you know, I got a drinking problem. Well, bravo. How about not have one? You know, I kept saying it over and over. Well, I got a drinking problem. It's the alcohol. Okay, well, okay, it's been like 20 years now. Huh? Okay, clean up your mess. How about this one? Skincare is important. Get a thick one. We cannot take a joke anymore. Have you ever noticed this? Insecure people cannot be laughed at or teased. Think about that. Here's another one I always make sure everybody that ever hears me knows. Crap stinks. Y'all agree? And so if you leave it stuck to you, don't get rid of it. Everywhere you go is going to stink. I lived that. See, for years, I had this crap stuck to me from what those kids did to me in school, what that pervert did to me, stepdad, this. I was walking around for 40 years with it. That night, I was going to end my life. I sat there all day drinking, and man, my life sucks because of this, and I can't believe this, and it's not fair this, blah, blah, blah. And I hear this little phrase from life, Joe, you're right. Now what? You're standing here holding on to 40 years of crap, dude, and you're complaining that it stinks? Get rid of it. Watch what happens. Well, that's what there it is. So here's another one for you. Tell yourself the truth about yourself first. We're so good at telling the truth about other people. But you know what? Clean up your own messes first. If you got a mess, don't focus on someone else's. Get yours cleaned up, and then now we'll focus on other people. I tell you, I swear that is the most common sin I see around. People will deceive themselves that they don't have a problem. It's their problem. They're the reason why. No. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's from the great philosopher Ice Cube. Here we go. Be careful of who you hate and what you refuse to forgive, because you will become who you hate and you will do what you don't forgive. Here's another one for you. Man, this is so true. Man, kids need to hear this from this big. You cannot, will not improve, get stronger, get better without resistance. We need obstacles. We need adversity. We need to raise the bar higher. I heard of a school district back east. They tell their teachers, don't grade with red ink because red ink hurts kids' feelings. I'm like, oh my gosh, what a bunch of sugar britches. They see a color of ink and oh my Lord, okay? Here's another one for you. Who you are is more important than what you are. You focus on the who, you'll be fine. And here's the best point I know how to bring up. When I was in divorce court, do you think it really mattered that I could bench press 350 pounds? Didn't matter. I thought it was important. Ooh, I used to let people know all the time. Oh, yeah, I'm in the gym, I bench 350. Whoa, Joe, yeah. Go to court and tell the judge that. Who cares? See, what you are is going to change. What you are in high school doesn't matter what you are when you're 50 years old. Who you are. And then the last one, live your life in such a way that you want your kids to grow up and be like you. Take that test often. Would I want my son, would I want my daughters to marry a guy like me? If I'm like, no, not doing this, well, then you don't do it. So all of those things comprise the whole wear a cup philosophy. And here's my closing thought. People, as I look over this audience, somebody in here is going to get a crappy hand soon or a good hand soon. How you play it will be determined on whether or not you have your cup on. You've got one shot at your story. And our story affects a lot of other people's. A lot of other people. Our spouses, our kids, our friends, neighbors, coworkers. It's not just about us. My thought is, live your life in a way that you want your kids to be like you, and the only way you can be that person is if you keep your cups on. Thank you very much.